Oh, okay. I didn't know what was going on.
No problem. Yeah, just waiting for dramatic effect. Because I have a very deep question that I've been wondering that I think only you can help me out with.
Okay.
Right. Who is James?
Man, so James Williams is a grinder, an advocate, entrepreneur, a creek-made individual, just pretty much all around real grind. Just a guy, just a go-getter, pretty much is getting everything going, pretty much setting out his goals, just trying to get everything that he wants to do, and just being front line to the business aspect.
Nice. So in that vein, tell me a bit about what you've been able to accomplish in the aspiration of your goals. A little bit about your business, a little bit about your personal accolades.
For sure. So pretty much a lot of things that, I was able to, accomplish within that is just being authentic. You know what I mean? Starting off with me first, starting off with the things that I wanted to do. And that was the biggest thing for me, is accomplishing the things slowly at my own pace and during my own time. And that was huge for me, especially within my city, because I always had that support, but branching it off into different locations or going to different areas and to represent my business myself, that was huge for me, and that was a major success. So.
Can you tell me what is your starting city and what led you to where we are now here in Arizona?
For sure. So my starting city is Battle Creek, Michigan, is where I'm from, where I grew up, where I played pee-wee football, everything that I started off, and pretty much where I launched off, went to school, then launched off to college, to Olivet College, which is also in Michigan, which is like 30 minutes outside East Lansing. That's how I started off from there. And then once I, was done with the sports aspect, that's when I tapped into business wise, as far as in the logo, the brand, and everything else that I wanted to do.
Let me know a little bit about your experience in sports and what you've done there.
Yeah, for sure. So I was one of those guys. I was a 3-sport athlete. So, I did football, basketball, track. I mean, if I could have done it all, I would. You know what I mean? So when I was in school, I wanted to play baseball, and I wanted to, play soccer. But, a lot of those things I couldn't tackle it all at once. But I wanted to be that guy that was just, the jack of all trades. But I was in sports early on. My mom and my dad put me in karate, gymnastics, you name it. And then after that, but I found a love for football, and that actually led me to pretty much a lot of open doors, because I was a great football player. I was one of those guys that would, just pretty much athletic on the team.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. And how did being in sports, being in that, the entertainment arena in that fashion, put you on the path to becoming an entrepreneur? Yeah,
so pretty much as I, started to, play more into football, and I was in college, and after that I was trying to find out my career. I actually had an opportunity to play professional football overseas. I had played in a country near Germany, which is Poland. For those who don't pretty much know how it is, it's the country of Poland. Pretty small country. Played over there, signed a contract for 2 years, and then started to actually get a lot of light from it, and started to get more noticeable as far as in not just through my city, but other different states. And I started getting noticed for, as far as in how quick I was as a player. But then as I started to tap in, I started to become a brand to myself. I started to become, who's James Williams? All right, James Williams is not just an individual. He's an actual brand. And then as I was doing fitness along with it, I was actually staying more to myself, which was basically like a grind. The grind is real. So I was like, hey, it's when people see me, I wanted to say, hey, that's a real grind right there. That guy, James, he's a real grind. He knows how to stay on the grind. So that's how I started to tap into that, and I started to roll over. And then once I was done with football and I came back to the States, man, I started to tap in with, more real grind, put that to fitness. I started to get more creative with a lot of my workout videos, and pretty much doing a lot of crazy different things that I can challenge myself with. And then a lot of people that probably won't do, which I probably won't tell them to do at home. So, and that's where that creative niche came from, was actually from sports. So that was pretty much like my beat. That was my ticket to far as where I'm at today.
Wow. So it was an easy translation from grinding in the athletic sphere of things to then grinding entrepreneurially, but then also now helping people. And you explained to me earlier that you also have a nonprofit. Can you speak more to what you do there?
Yeah, so I have a nonprofit, which is pretty much called City Kids Day. It was City Kids Day is a like a free day for the kids back in my local town where I'm from, which is Battle Creek, Michigan, and it's a carnival day where all kids will cross from the city will come to pretty much just come to this arena where they can get free shoes, free clothes, free donations, anything that they want, and local sponsors and businesses will come together and pretty much just hand out free things to the kids. We started this back in 2017 with me and a couple of my close friends and that are business owners to this day. We just came with the first thing we started off was a trunk or treat. So we like, let's see how we can gravitate towards the numbers. We reached over like 300 kids, and it was like, okay, let's take this to like a field house. Let's take it to a complex. So then in 2019, we had our first annual City Kids Day where we reached over 500 kids. We started to get more notice throughout the county, like pretty much the county area that we reside in. And then we started to get a little bit more bigger. The next year we tapped in, but COVID hit, which kind of pretty much put a pause. So we was like, you know what, we're not gonna let this stop us, but we're just gonna plan better for 2021. And then in 2021, we reached over 1,200 kids throughout the area. Local channel news was, recognized me. They wanted to see me. They wanted to interview me. And we just started getting bigger and bigger each time. Every business, local ones that you could think of, from Kellogg's to Post Cereal as well. That's pretty much a nonprofit. I mean, not excuse me, pretty much a corporate companies wanted to tap in. And man, it's been awesome ever since.
And have you been able to translate that idea from your home city to here?
Well, yeah, pretty much right now we're looking into setting the area. We're looking at like Mesa. So that's where we want to branch off with. I'm starting to, you want to build that relationship. You want to build that rapport and coming in and you want to, let people know your idea, but you want to pretty much just show more of your demonstration and what you can do. And then they can tap into it. But we're still in the building process. I actually haven't did anything just yet, but we probably go look down the road, probably another year or two. We'll try to start building.
That sounds great, and it sounds like something that this city could do as well out here, or Phoenix, Mesa, the greater Maricopa area.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I had the honor to model some of your merch,
for sure,
some of your clothing
for
Real Grind.
For sure.
Tell me how the clothing came to be, and how that's going for you now.
The clothing actually started around the time when I actually came back from Europe. Like I was saying, I noticed that myself was getting a little bit more noticeable, was getting more publicity as far as in the grind aspect, which was the fitness. And that became more of a challenge. And then, one day I actually was just coming to the gym and I was with one of my good friends that was working out with me at that time. And he was like, man, James, you got to actually, you got to think yourself as a, a brand. We ain't just, just a person in the gym. So he was like, man, you really the grind. He said, you're a grinder. So, he's like, but this stuff is real. So then I came idea like, all right, this is real grind, real grind. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, cool. So we tapped into that, and then, let things one after another. We just started making t-shirts and selling pretty much like out of a trunk, or just, pulling up to people. Hey, I got a shirt, $10, come pull up on me. Hey, this is what I'm starting off. Just to see where we can go with it. And man, everything ever since then, man, is, the rest is history. I got a website, that you can tap into, get shipped at. And every time I'm home, I pretty much just make good sales. And we reached over, 1,000 customers within, those, the first, year. And so I know that may not seem like a lot, but from where I'm at, just if I'm starting off my trunk and I'm not even counting, other sales that I did in other places, that's huge for me. So
no, that's huge. In general, due to the fact that some companies have been in business years with their ideas and haven't, sold that much.
Yeah.
So you are actualizing these entities, goals that you brought over, that it seems like you transitioned from even your early athletic years, that you're now using to empower other people. Tell me a little bit about how it's been, working in this entrepreneurial capacity and empowering others, and about the team that may be working with you now.
For sure. So it's been a process. It's been, you know, it's been its ups and downs. It's been its challenge. It tests your faith. It tests who you really are as a person. But without those things and those things that I, you know, as far as I didn't go through, it wouldn't have made me who I am. And throughout the years, you know, it was, you know, changing certain ways that we want to go, certain dynamics, but you know, it got me to where I'm at. And there's a lot of things I always been, you know, been told, don't ever be a yes person. Don't ever be, all right, I want to please the people all the time. You want to please yourself first. And that was a huge thing for me, is the understanding that I am me and this is who I am. This is my brand. And I had to be authentically okay with that. And to change different shifts, because I could have stayed home. I could have stayed at the crib, but I wanted to go further out. I wanted to go west. I wanted to go down south. When I moved out of Michigan, I went to Atlanta, Georgia, and I was actually starting real grind there. So I was like, okay, let me see if I can take it to the West Coast. Actually was out in Cali. I see one of my friends, how they did their things and how did they branch out, how did they popped up as vendors. And then I was like, oh man, then came to Phoenix. One of my good guys, Rodney Williams, he actually was pretty much how he based his out here, and started to plug me with different people, man. And it's been awesome ever since. So yeah, it's been a grind.
That's awesome. And that's what I would expect.
Yeah.
That you're definitely going to grind hard as well for the people, you know, for your clients and for the people that are, you know, following the brand. I noticed that when I came by to just check you out, you know, the energy was good and everything that you're doing has been dope that I've seen. So I'm excited to know more about what's happening. So can you give me a clue to what you're doing in the future, and if there's anything coming up that we need to be aware of?
For sure. So as far as in the future wise, we actually looking to collab with other different businesses. Pretty much some of them that's in my local town, and then also in different states, such as Arizona and in the Phoenix area. But in the future wise, we're looking to pretty much do more promos within the business, but also not just in myself, but also, you know, with City Kids Day, the nonprofit to the kids. And we want to launch that until we want to get more, tap into the more professional wise. And then we want to start doing more like scholarships to the kids and actually giving out kind of like our own grant money, or we want to build our own Wall Street. We can always attack the grants and, you know, corporate wise, but hey, you know, you'd be amazed with an individual, or you can take a group of people and they can make this thing happen on their own. And I always wanted to do is, you know, as they say, like the music field, I want to go indie.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? But I wanted to do that in the lane of through athletics and through this way with the kids, and taking that aspect and running with it, because this is what made me, this is who I am. And I'd be disloyal if I didn't give it back to my city. I'd be disloyal if, you know, I didn't show the real, you know, the real authenticness of where I come from and how I did things. And I wanted to give that off to the next generation, to the next kid. Like, hey man, this kid went this route and he from this city, from a small city like this, and he, you know, took it and ran with it. So that's the biggest joy, or that's the biggest motivation that I could do. And I think that's golden for any individual. That's
awesome. I really think that what you have going is not only inspiring, but again, to say it, you're helping people, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
Could I get you to shout out how people can connect with you, business, the services that you offer, if you have anything that you have going throughout the week or on a schedule wise out here in Arizona? Let people know how they can just get in touch and get to know more about who James Williams truly is.
For sure. So anyway, if anybody want to tap in with me, you can tap in with you know, on Facebook as James Quice Williams, or you can tap me on IG or Instagram at James Q Williams. Snapchat is Quice Williams at QUICE Williams 3. And then, you know, if you need to hit me up also, you can hit me up on my email is at Quice QUICE0511@gmail.com. I'm always around. I definitely love to, you know, answer any questions, or love to collab, or just to, you know, get my feet wet more and tap into other things that I may be, you know, that I'm still a student too. So definitely love to collab, and that's why you can hit me up.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. And yeah, people, hit him up. That is James Williams.
Appreciate you, boss.